Bernadette Soubirous, her little sister, and their friend had gone out to hunt for wood. They had walked to Marsebielle and saw a grotto in front of which there was a stream. So Bernadette started taking off her shoes and socks to walk through the waters. She had hardly gotten them off when she heard a sound much like the gust of wind. Again, she heard the same sound, and when she looked at the grotto, she saw in the uppermost corner a beautiful lady clad in white dress and a blue belt, and yellow roses on each of her feet. The lady signaled to her with her fingers that Bernadette should come nearer. Bernadette was almost frozen to the ground. She spontaneously grabs her rosary, kneels down, and tries to make the sign of the cross, but cannot do this until the lady, who's carrying a rosary with a large crucifix, has made the sign of the cross. While Bernadette is praying the rosary, she sees that the lady's also letting her beads slide through her fingers, but without moving her lips. This vision lasted about 15 minutes. The other girls saw nothing of this vision, but Bernadette told them about it. It's Carnival Sunday and Bernadette Soubirous feels forced to go to the grotto, although her mother had forbidden her from doing so. After lots of persuasion, Bernadette's mother does agree with her going to the grotto, which she does with her two girls, taking a bottle of holy water with a plan to throw it at the lady if she appears again. Bernadette gets the other girls to kneel down and pray. They prayed the rosary together. Again, Bernadette Soubirous sees the lady with her rosary on her arm. She sprinkles holy water towards the lady and says, "If you're not from God, go away, and if you're from God, stay." As Bernadette sprinkles more water, the lady smiles more and more. When the bottle is empty, Bernadette carries on with her rosary, and the vision, the lady disappears. It's still very early in the morning when Bernadette Soubirous once again kneels down at the grotto. A few adults from the village have come with her, and they have given her pen and paper. Bernadette goes into the grotto and asks the lady, "Would you please write down your name?" The people of the village have told her to do this. Bernadette hears the answer, "That is not necessary." She then hears the lady ask her, "Will you be good enough to come to the grotto for 15 days? Bernadette says, "Yes, I promise." The lady makes the following promises. "I promise to make you happy, not in this world, but in the next." Then, the lady says, "I would like to see a lot of people here." This is the first time that Bernadette sees and hears the gentle voice of that lady very clearly. Bernadette Soubirous is no longer afraid and feels a deep inner attraction or a pull to go to the grotto in Marsebielle. 6 or 7 women, including Bernadette's aunt, go with her. After barely 3 Hail Marys, the vision reappears and it lasts for about 30 minutes. This day, Bernadette takes a blessed candle with her, something that she continues to do every day until the 14th vision on 3rd of March, 1858. On this day, the group with Bernadette Soubirous had grown to about 30 people. The same vision appears, and when it has ended, Bernadette is immediately back to her normal, quiet self. She says very little about the vision, only says very clearly that she had once again seen the beautiful lady who smiles at her from the grotto. On this Sunday morning, the 100 or so people who go to the grotto with her are aware how deeply Bernadette Soubirous is moved. Our Lady appears to look with her shining eyes over the whole world, and she says, "Pray for sinners." In the afternoon, Bernadette has to endure a long interview with the police commissioner. Bernadette remains calm. Her father makes her promise never to go to the grotto again. In the confessional, the chaplain tells Bernadette Soubirous that nobody has the right to stop her from going to the grotto. Then her father lifts his ban on her visit to the grotto. On this day, once again, there are at least 100 witnesses, among whom are doctors and other important men from the little town. Our Blessed Lady teaches Bernadette, word for word, a special little prayer which Bernadette keeps a secret. She prays this prayer every day for the rest of her life. Mary also now gives instruction to go to the priest and tell them, I want to build a chapel here. Two or 300 people have come together at the grotto. They see the face of Bernadette Soubirous looking very sad. She crawls on her knees over the ground, stooping several times to mutter, Penance, penance, penance. She said that the lady had asked her to do this as penance for sinners. Once again, the grotto is full of people. The outward apparition of Bernadette Soubirous during this apparition is strange, due to what Mary is saying to her. My daughter, I want to tell you just for you and about you one last secret which you must never tell anyone. Now go and drink and wash at the spring and eat of the grass growing nearby. Mary points with her fingers to the grotto. Then Bernadette sees dirty, muddy water. She cannot drink it. She tries 3 times to dig deeper and deeper. On the 4th occasion, she can drink it and washes herself with it. Then she eats the grass. Some people present there said she is mad, but after Bernadette dug in, the spring became enormous. It was to become a spring of 100,000 liters a day. The 10th apparition took place in the presence of 800 people. Once again, Bernadette Soubirous drank the water from the spring, which was now bubbling, and ate the grass from nearby. Even more people than the previous day followed Bernadette to the grotto. The chief officer of the town and his secretary were present. He was impressed and said that the vision lasted fairly long. In the afternoon, there was another interrogation. The headmaster of the local senior school came to question her in private. He thought that she was suffering from catalepsy. Prior to this questioning, when he became certain that she was really having these visions. According to a police count, 1,500 people were present. Bernadette Soubirous sees the little girl who tells her that she is not carrying her own rosary, but the one belonging to her sick girlfriend. Again, Bernadette drank and washed herself at the spring. This was the first day that the priest was present. The newly ordained priest from a small town nearby came. He watched Bernadette very carefully and closely. Later he said, "What perfect peace, what perfect serenity, what perfect saintliness. It is impossible for a child to make this up. So beautiful, so lovely, so pure. I felt as though I was standing on heaven's threshold." This time, there were 1,650 spectators. Bernadette Soubirous heard the following request: "Go and ask the priest to build a chapel. I want the people to come here in procession." The father is so nasty to her when she sees him that she only remembers to ask about the procession and forgets all about the church. Very shaken, she returns to the priest in the evening and tells him and 3 chaplains the rest of the message. The parish priest says that she must first ask the lady for her name. 3,000 or 4,000 people are present at the grotto, but nothing happens. In the afternoon, Bernadette Soubirous returns, and in the presence of 100 or so people, she sees the vision. So, as the parish priest had requested, she asked the lady her name. The lady just smiled, but gave no answer. Bernadette goes back to see the parish priest, who says that she is crazy and being taken for a ride. He does, however, repeat his request that Bernadette should ask the lady for her name. It is Immaculate in Lourdes, and the last day of the 15 days mentioned at the 3rd apparition.
An awful lot of people, about 20,000, wander down through the grotto. The police, with the help from police from other villages, have more to do than they can cope with. Bernadette Soubirous remains there for 3/4 of an hour in trance at the grotto. Once again, when she leaves the grotto, she goes to see the parish priest and tell him that the lady smiled and asked her name. But she still wants a church built. The priest repeats his request that Bernadette must ask the lady for her name. Bernadette Soubirous has not been to the grotto for 3 weeks. Then, during the night of 24-25 of March, she suddenly had a great urge to go to the grotto and wash the bed. At 5 in the morning, she's on her way to the grotto with some of her relatives. Even this early in the morning, several people, including the chief of police, are at the grotto. As soon as Bernadette arrived, she saw the lady. For about an hour she remains in trance as she looks at the lady. She asks the lady her name, repeating the question 3 times. The lady smiles at her. Then Bernadette gets the courage to ask the lady her name for a 4th time. Now she gives the answer. I am the Immaculate Conception.
Bernadette did not understand it, not even following her visit to the parish priest. She started to understand it in the afternoon following her talk with Mr. Estra, a learned man, that the lady was the Virgin Mother. Bernadette Soubirous had been to confession a few days earlier, and so people expected her to go to the grotto. This she did, as usual, carrying a lit candle in her left hand, her right hand protecting the flame against the wind. In ecstasy, which follows and lasts for about 15 minutes, the flame blows against her fingers. The doctor sees no burns and believes that Bernadette really does see what she said. On the feast day of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, Bernadette Soubirous feels a strong inner pull to go to the grotto. She goes there at 8 p.m. Since the previous apparition, the authorities have fenced off the grotto following a decree passed on 10th of June 1858. Locked up, Bernadette kneels down on the other side of the river. For a short period of time, she is in deep ecstasy, just like the previous time a few months earlier. When she is later asked what the lady said to her, she answered, nothing, but does say that she had never seen the lady looking so beautiful. Following this apparition, Bernadette Soubirous again returns to her normal life and faith, which means to her being completely faithful.